Well, welcome to the Afterthought series of What's Your MIIEN, a 10-week interactive audio adventure of the MIIEN Notes podcast, hosted by yours truly, me, Mikara Reid, the founder and personal style consultant of MIIEN Consultancy and author of the upcoming book, What's Your MIIEN? Discover Your Fashion Identity. Man, it just feels so real to say that I am an author. I don't think you guys understand. But it's been so amazing to hear different people's thoughts and perspective on their personal style and what influences it. If you missed where this talking point is coming from, it came from What You MIIEN, the conversation series on August 23rd, 2023. I had Eliza of Wardrobe Boss we discussed a lot. I really loved how we just got into it. It was truly a conversation series. So some of the things that we got into were we shared our own definition of fashion versus personal style, how we identified our own personal style. And for her, as she is a mature, seasoned woman, I asked her, how does she define her style in her 20s versus now? What were our early influences when it came to fashion? So we went back in time and just really remember what kind of just triggered us or piqued our interest into fashion. We also kind of just took the conversation to another, well, we elevated it, I want to say, to talking about vetting your potential personal stylist. I utterly think that it's very important because there is definitely a difference between personal stylist, personal shopper, and wardrobe stylist. And also, we all have our own different skill sets and expertise. And lastly, the importance of having a good personal appearance that truly aligns with you. If you're wondering about the conversation, here's a quick little snippet of what happened on our IG Live.
Other than that, no, my parents are not fashion forward. They're just regular folks. I don't know. I just fell in love with just going inside the thrift store, and I just grabbed on quick.
What's interesting that you said about your uncle, that he was a detective, and I'm just cracking up because my dad was a detective. So it must have been something about these detectives that they had to be sharp. So I think that's pretty funny. And, I love what you said about the jewelry, especially the estate jewelry, because I have to tell you this. I find this with so many of my clients. They're like, my grandmother left me her jewelry collection, or my mom, my aunt, somebody left me the jewelry collection. Then they show me the jewelry, right? It's a mix of fine and costume. And they're like, I don't know what to do with this. And I'm thinking to myself, you're sitting on a pot of gold here, and it's just to have fun with it, right? If it's fine jewelry and it's heirloom jewelry, I get that. If you want to wear that for special occasions, but the thing is, they left it to you to wear it, to use it. So I appreciate that you took advantage of that, because there are so many women that they're like, look, and then they show me this thing, and they're like, and I don't know what to do with it. So I love to get in their closet and to help them incorporate it, because that's the reason someone left you their collection, is so that you can enjoy it and you can use it and you can give it new life when they're gone. So I love that you do that.
Yeah, I had this elderly lady. She had all boys. She had 5 boys, but she had so much jewelry. And she's like, I want you to have it because I've seen you work here for 2 years, and you had different earrings. And sometimes when you work double, I saw you switch your earrings. And I'm like, you paid attention? So she's like, I contacted your manager and I asked them, can I give this to you? Because they can't give it to you. Right. So so my manager at the home agency agreed to it. So she's like, I want her to have this. So she had given me all of this jewelry, earrings, the pins, to sew the buttons on. I was just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful.
If you enjoyed that snippet, I definitely encourage you to check out that episode, which is out now for listeners to replay or listen in on the conversation. The link is in the description. Now, on to the afterthoughts of this topic. I wanted to pull the 3 questions that was talked about on August 23rd with Eliza and I. The 3 questions that I'm pulling from are, what's the difference between fashion versus personal style? And from your perspective, describe your personal style in 3 words. And number 3, what factors or elements influence your personal style? These questions may seem easy when you hear it, but when it comes to answering it based on your own lifestyle and what's going on with you, it definitely stunned a few people. It definitely stunned a few people. But overall, I think it's important to shed light on people from all walks of life and purpose so they can share their perspective from these 3 questions. Now, I made a I don't want to say cute, but I made a mini audio mirage of people answering these 3 questions stemming from What You Mean, the conversation series on August 23rd. So let's get into what people had to say on these 3 questions. All right. What, in your perception of life and what you have going on with your life, what is the difference between fashion and personal style?
I think to me, the biggest difference is I think of fashion as like art. It's like I look at it, I appreciate it. It's like a discussion point with people. Specifically, I'm thinking of like the Met Gala because me and my best friend, we always, as soon as it happens, we're sending each other photos, like which looks did you like, who got the message, who got the theme correct, who made a statement, which designer, sometimes they'll do photos with like the designers, all the designs together, and you're like, wow, look at the story they're telling, those kind of things. So I think when I think of fashion, I think of art, like it's like an art form. But when I think of personal style, I think of more functionality. Like, I think of when I get dressed in the morning, especially for different events, it's like if I'm going out with my girls, I know I want something fun. I want something light. I want something airy. I want something cute. I want something sexy if we're going out at night, If I'm going to work, it's like armor. I want something that's going to give me confidence. I want something that's like going to project confidence to people that people are going to take me seriously, you know what I mean? So when I think of like personal style, I definitely think of the functionality of it, and less of the story and like the art. It's more like, what is this gonna give me? What is this gonna like armor me with? What is this gonna present to the world? So I think those are the main differences to me.
Okay. How would you describe your style? What are 3 words that you would describe your personal style overall?
Okay, 3 words. 1 is classic. That's something I've come back to more recently. I think earlier in my 20s, my style was definitely more trendy and like fast fashion for sure. Or I saw this on this one person, so I'm going to get it too. Or this is like really popular right now, I'm going to get an item similar. But I think recently I've definitely stepped away from like the trends and gone back to a lot of more classic styles. So classic. I think the second one would be comfortable. I was very willing to make sacrifices for fashion in my early 20s, very, very willing. And now like I have like a whole closet full of shoes that I'm like, oh my God, when did I ever wear this? Like would not do that to my feet in this day and age. So I've definitely leaned more into the comfortable side of things. And I think the third word I would use is colorful. I love color. I I think sometimes it can be a little colorful and classic sometimes. I think people don't think those go hand in hand, but for me, incorporating color does make it classic to me. And I love the way colors look on my skin, so I like to play with color for sure in the clothes I'm wearing.
Okay. So you talked about what influences your personal style, which was another talking point in that discussion on August 23rd. Does the selection, your clothing selection process, as I would call it, has that helped you leverage your career, your lifestyle, in you as a person, like your core identity?
Absolutely. It absolutely has, especially when it comes to my career, my professional persona. I think, especially for women, I think it would be hard to say that your clothing choices don't have an effect on your career. I think it's just in the world we're living in, it definitely does. And for me, because I'm in the marketing field, the marketing and communications field, a lot of the time people see you first before they hear you. So the way you look, the first impression is very, very important. At least it has been in my career. So it definitely has an effect there. And I think I do leverage my fashion sense and my style, even in like personal relations. Like, I feel like for most of my friends, I feel like our first conversation was about style, was about clothes, because I feel like that's my go-to when I meet women. It's like I pick an item that I love, and I'm like, oh God, and I'm a compliments person, so it's like I have to compliment this person on this fashion item, and that's how I would say I've met most of my close friends, actually. So I think on a personal level as well, I definitely have leverage style, and it does affect the relationships that I have to this day.
What is the difference between personal style and fashion in your perspective?
In my perspective, personal style is something that you take time to curate yourself. It's about finding what you like and what makes you comfortable, or what makes you stand out, makes you feel bold or sexy or fierce, and putting it into clothing, whether that be comfy, whether that be something a little bit less modest. I think it's just however you're feeling. Versus fashion, a lot of trends come and go. So right now, I'm not up with fashion trends, but I know there's something that is reoccurring that everyone may just take on and may not make personal. So I think sometimes you can tell when someone is just following a fashion trend and they haven't really made it their own versus making it their own personal style.
Okay, and describe your own personal style in 3 words.
In 3 words, I would say my personal style is comfy, cute, and nature-esque.
Don't feel bad. I definitely said comfortable as my number one. When you watch the playback of the IG Live, I said the same. That was the number one thing. And lastly, what influences your personal style? Like, what factors? Is it work? Is it dating? Is it, you trying to build your own empire? What kind of factors influenced your personal style?
I would definitely say, one, building my own empire as I continue to build my businesses. A lot of my personal style caters to my businesses. So whether that be the colors or the scene that I'm going to be in. And also, as I mature and stepping into my womanhood, I feel like finding my style and being less masculine. I feel like sometimes we can wear a lot of sweatpants and leggings and things like that. So I'm trying to break free from that and find my own personal style in a way that makes me stand out, feel good all the time, and just step into my essence.
All right. What is the difference between personal style and fashion from your perspective?
I think it's putting your own intuition in whatever you feel comfortable right there in the moment. You don't have to choose a style or choose a vibe, you can combine them all together. And I feel like that's the beauty of fashion as well.
And what are 3 words you would describe your personal style, your own personal style?
My own personal style, I would say color, textures, and confidence.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are the influences that that you factor in when it's your personal style?
I want to say, it sounds so cliche, but like the streets of New York, you could see someone in a suit from a flirty, vibrant skirt, or an old lady putting it on with a big hat. Like everything around me basically inspires me to put it on, like I said, on my tiki-tokis. But yeah, just the people in general around me inspire me. Yeah.
All right. From your perspective, what is the difference between personal style and fashion?
I think it's what makes you feel good. So I think, fashion has this concept of all these fancy clothes and lots of money, but all of that stuff trickles down to the everyday, right? Into Walmart, into things like that. And I think it really is all about what you feel good in. So, you can take from fashion, and create your personal style from that, if that makes sense.
Okay, and what are the 3 words you would describe your personal style?
Unique and funky, fun and sexy. I'm combining words.
We'll put dashes so it can be one word.
There you go.
And the last question is, what influences your personal style?
I'm a yoga teacher too, so a lot of my style, I'm always wearing yoga outfits, but I like funky leggings, I like funky stuff like that, so I wear mermaid leggings and things like that, but I also really like I collect vintage handbags and, like the rockabilly style, the sexy style, the athletic, obviously, but also elegant and clean.
All right. What is the difference between personal style and fashion to you?
Wow. So personal style, I think, is more when you are, it's when you're more unique. You do what you want, what comes out of your mind. And then fashion, I think, is more kind of like following more of a pattern or what others are doing. Yeah.
Okay, and what are 3 words you would describe your very own personal style?
You know what? I think that sometimes I say I'm kind of eclectic.
Yeah, I like that word.
It's a mixture. It depends on the season. It depends on how I feel. I don't really go by brand. I just if I see something I like it, I buy it. Of course if I can afford it.
Right.
But that's more of kind of like eclectic. Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, what influences your own personal style?
I think, again, it's more of a mixture. I like casual, but a little bit more, dressy. But I like it to dress it down a little bit, just so that I could be comfortable as well. Yeah.
Okay. How cool was that? Do you resonate with any of those responses? If you are interested in submitting your answers to these 3 questions, you can leave a voice message at 202-656-2306 or upload your voice note to this link in the description. It is titled Tap the Send Voice Message. I received this message via email and I thought it would be very interesting to share with you guys since this came from this discussion. And she says, in quote, "The podcast really got me thinking about how important it is to make a first impression. I went to the High School of Fashion Industries back in the 60s for fashion design. I then attended a seminar at FIT, but went off into a different direction. I am an artist and photographer and have a lot of love for design and fashion. As I listened to the podcast, I thought of how much I thought of how much money people put into social media marketing, but not into their look to go along with their message, end quote. I thought I wanted to share with you. I really wanted to share with you guys this message because I thought it was just very interesting how she initially went to school to go to fashion and she ventured off to something else, but somehow she still incorporates design, or I'm going to say the art aspect of her career. I'm not going to say where her career is because I like to keep things, confidential. But also, it's just very interesting how she picked up on, I thought of how much money people put into social media marketing, but not into their looks. This line resonated with a write-up that I did for the O'Dwyer PR. I mentioned that how people don't really take in consideration that your look is your business card or it's your resume. Like you are your visual resume, and people can spend so much money getting the career or getting the skill set, but your look oftentimes is the opening door for a lot of things. I'm not saying to wear the latest and greatest name brands, but having the silhouette of clothing that suits you, wearing the appropriate colors, even having great skin or just a clean makeup or a great haircut. Like your whole overall presentation sends out so much. Again, if you guys fully listen to that last, not our last, but the conversation series on August 23rd, I definitely mentioned, I tell my clients a lot of the times, when you walk into the door, before you even open your mouth, your image says a lot. I know even on my down days, I still have a pristine, or I still carry a certain oomph about me because I've still put effort in money. It's in my down day because I don't feel like being dressed up, but the fit of my clothing and how things are curated is up to par to my standard, and it shows towards other people. So I thought it was great to definitely share that message with you guys because it definitely just resonated with me, the last line. I hope it does for you. As promised, we have 3 lucky winners. I am ready to announce their free advance book copy of What's Your Mean? Discover Your Fashion Identity. You have 73 hours to claim your prize. And the first winner, TT. TT, how are you doing? So you have 72 hours. Make sure that you have completed all of the other rules because we will be checking. Winner number 2, Beverly. Hello, Beverly. Again, you have 72 hours. Definitely let us know by emailing info@MIIEN, that's MIIEN.co to claim your prize. That also goes for TT. And lastly, we have Sharon. We have 72 hours. Definitely make sure all 3 of you have completed all of the other instructions that was on the website www.MIIEN.co/giveaway, and contact us at info@MIIEN.co. I can't wait to hear from you guys because I'm so excited to share my book. My book just feels like a baby to me. I am very proud of that product, of the project, of how it just stretched me to the greatest capacity that I am right now. So if you are interested in watching our next Instagram Live, check us out every Wednesday for the next 9 more weeks at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn at MIIEN Consultancy. That's MIIEN CONSULTANCY. We will also have those links in the description. And lastly, do us a favor, will do me a favor, and leave us a comment on our podcast, particularly Apple Podcasts, Mean Notes Podcast. It will truly be greatly appreciated. And it also just helps us, just kind of get a nice little push in the algorithms, okay? My name is Mikara Reid. I hope you guys definitely enjoyed this episode. I really like to just have conversations and just grab just insight from other people, what they're thinking, what's going on with their lives. And I hope you guys resonate. And if you still want to continue this conversation, it's still open. It's still open. If you want to contribute, definitely call in at 202-656-2306 or just tap the link in the description that says tap the send voice message. So I will talk to you guys next week, and we will be back with a new topic. The topic will be the topic is types of shoppers and what influences your shopping habits. And I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.